Hello, I'm finally making this video on how to count your calories. Before I go ahead and start, I want to take in consideration that counting calories isn't for everyone. It can be done differently, but that's for a separate video. If you do have any disorders or you have difficulty with your mental health or you feel as if you need help, then do consult a doctor or seek help. There's many resources. I can link them down below, and I can also be a resource if you ever need any help with eating disorders or food in general if you struggle. I'm not licensed to do so, but if you feel comfortable with someone, I'm always here. In saying that, counting calories should be done in a very safe manner. Sometimes people can lower their calories way too low and have not enough food into their system to help their body out, and they may feel more sluggish, and some people might faint, and it can be very dangerous, which is why I'm making this video, just to inform people so that it's done the safest way possible. When counting your calories, it's very important that you not cut any of the macronutrients that are made for your body. Macronutrients are protein, fibrous carbs, carbohydrates, and fats. These are the main macronutrients that supply your body energy and that all serve a purpose in your body, so you have to be eating every single one of them. There's no such thing as cutting out your carbs, lowering carbs. Then if you do so, you're looking into fad diets, and though fad diets may work for some people, they're not the safest way to go in some circumstances, and there is other ways. And I also wanted to say that if you look at the overall fad diets where you're cutting this and you're cutting that, you see a common pattern. They are all cutting something. They are all in a caloric deficit. Keep in mind, so say for keto, they're cutting out carbohydrates. That is a caloric deficit because you're completely cutting out a macronutrient from your diet. That's just an example of a very famous fad diet that's going around here. Not to bash on it or anything, and it's worked for some people, and it does have its research shown, but in the overall fad diet spectrum, the main thing is that they are all doing the same thing. They are cutting calories from the diet in one way or another. So in doing that, might as well focus on cutting your calories in general while still eating the foods that your body needs, just cutting down on those calories so we can do it safely, so that we don't develop any negative thoughts towards food and we have a good relationship with our food. So now we're going to go in on what exactly a caloric deficit is. So everybody has maintenance in their calories. That maintenance, for example, could be 2,000. So say that my maintenance is 2,000 calories a day. That is what I need, how many calories I need to take in order to maintain my body weight currently right now. If I want to be in a deficit is going to subtract a number of calories from my maintenance and then put me in a deficit, so I am eating less calories and burning more. So this is essentially how you're losing weight, because you're burning more than you're taking into your body. So how do you find out what exactly your caloric deficit is? Well, before we do that, we have to find out what your TDEE is. This is your total daily energy expenditure. Your TDEE is... So I like to take the easy way towards this. There is a certain website that I like to use. I'll put it on the screen. It's tdeecalculator.net. In this website, you'll be able to implement all the information, just like your height, your weight. It'll ask about your exercising, how many times a week. You go ahead and fill all of those categories in, and it will give you your TDEE. Of course, there's a mathematical way you can put it, but we're making this video simple for people that just want to get into it. From here, you found out your maintenance, basically, how much calories you're supposed to eat in order to maintain your body weight. There's other websites you can use, such as calorie counters, but you want to be very careful with these ones because sometimes they can all vary in different numbers, and other ones aren't very liable. I will put a website that I believe is about the range that I feel like they're doing the good calculations, like really good liable calculations. So you can't go directly to a website that just counts your calories right off the bat. It shows you the maintenance, your what you need to be in a deficit and how extreme. But the reason I implement the TDEE is so that people can understand that their body in itself is burning calories, and sometimes it's really good to know how many calories your body is burning so that you have a good idea of what exactly that is. So moving back to what I was saying, once you figure out your TDEE, you're going to grab this number and you're going to subtract from a range of 300 to 500. So if grabbing your TDEE, subtract 300, and that number is the safest number that you can go. The weight loss is going to be nice and slow, it's going to be steady, and it's what you want, because realistically you want this to be a lifetime change, and the only way you're going to change it is if you're slowly getting into it. Not going completely cold turkey, but slowly getting yourself into it. If you're a little bit more of a moderate, you think you're ready for it, you can go ahead and grab your TDEE.
I just finished working out, excuse that, but it didn't record this portion. So as I was saying, moving on to a more moderate caloric deficit, you can subtract 400 from your TDEE. By subtracting 400, it's not as slow as the 300 would be, but it's also not as fast as the 500. It's in the middle, and it's a nice middle ground for you to really get into the hang of things and start to know what your caloric deficit is, or like what you feel with it. 400 I would say is a good way to start, because 300 would be, maybe it's a little too slow for you, and then 500 might be a little bit too extreme.
Now this number might be too restrictive, and you want to avoid feeling too restricted in your new lifestyle change with your calories, because if you're restricted, you're less likely to do it, you will feel more inclined to stop, and you want to avoid that. So for people that are looking for extreme or more faster weight loss, yes, you can subtract 500, but I recommend you start with 300. And if that's easy, then 400, and then go into 500 slowly. Just find a number that fits you best and be very careful with it. Also keep in mind that subtracting 500 from your TDEE is the minimum amount you can subtract. If you're eating too little from your calories that are from your maintenance, you might experience some health problems, and things might get difficult. You might experience dizziness. Try to avoid that as well. If anything, you should be eating a little bit more. Don't eat too less of your calories.
Okay, so this part didn't record as well. Keep in mind that in a caloric deficit, you do want to have, maybe after 3 months of being in a caloric deficit, you want to dedicate the next 3 months to being in maintenance. Or say that you want to go 1 week in a caloric deficit, 1 week in maintenance, or 1 month in a caloric deficit and then 1 week in maintenance. Because you don't want to get your body used to eating in a caloric deficit. If you're always eating low calories, look, you're going like that the whole couple of months, you turn it into a lifestyle, your body's going to get used to that small amount of food that you're giving it, and it's gonna say, oh, well, in order for you to do a caloric deficit next time, you gotta go lower than that. And that's not the goal. You wanna be able to eat more, if anything. So train your body by not staying always in a caloric deficit. Go on it, go off it in a healthy manner. On and off is the way to go. Don't always be in a caloric deficit, because you're just setting yourself up for failure. You're going to keep going lower and lower, and pretty soon you're going to have to look for a dietitian or train yourself to eat food again, and it's possible that you might gain the weight back. Also keep in mind that when you keep losing weight, your body composition is changing. So when you do go back to your maintenance and then you want to recalculate your caloric deficit, that number is not going to be the same, because you lost weight. Maybe you gain more muscle mass depending on what kind of training you're doing. Your body's going to need different adaptations, meaning that you might need more food. So now that caloric deficit might be a little bit higher than what you were used to before. So recalculating and knowing your body, knowing your eating, taking control and allowing breaks is very essential.
Now let's go into how you're going to count your calories. So in counting your calories, there are, I believe, 2 of the best ways I can think of. One is by writing your food down. You can write your food down that you eat throughout the day on a notebook, on your phone, although that may be a little bit too difficult because on some foods you're not going to know exactly the serving size or the amount of calories that was in that food product if it does not have a nutrition label. So I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but I am saying that if you feel as if you're more of a notebook person, you're more of a person that wants to write this down and see it on print, you can most definitely do that. I know you can look up the amount of calorie of things on the internet, but just be careful with this way of counting because it may mess with your calorie counting. The other one that I do recommend highly and that I do myself and that I know a lot of other people that count their calories do is downloading MyFitnessPal. On this app, you'll be able to put any type of food on the search engine and more likely that food is going to be there. You can also scan your items and put them in easily and it counts it for you, puts the serving size and everything. But this app is what I've seen has mostly all foods that I've tried. I've tried other apps, but they didn't have the foods that I would have, or it'd be a little bit too difficult to maneuver. But MyFitnessPal is the one that I see is a little bit more easy, a little bit more accessible, and has all the foods that I enjoy. So upon opening the app, it's going to ask you a series of questions. The app itself is going to be counting your calories for you as well. So we already did the TDEE, we got what calories, we subtracted the calories that we want for the level that we want, and you know exactly the range you're at. The app is going to do the same exact thing. It's going to count what your maintenance is depending on all the your height, your weight, your everything that you put in. And it's going to give you options of, oh, what do you want to do? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to maintain your weight? Do you want to gain weight? And you'll just click on the one that you want, click on the one that best fits you, and from there it'll give you a calculation of how many calories you should be eating to be in a deficit a day. This number should equivalent to the one that we did before, and it should be in around the same range. If you're wondering which one should I follow, the TDEE, MyFitnessPal, I'm confused. You should follow the one that you feel is best for you. If one of them seems more accessible, one of them seems more better for you, then go for that one. Because either way, you're still going to be in a deficit and you're still going to be in that same range. If you want to follow the MyFitnessPal counting calories app, you can just go straight there, avoid everything else, go straight there, put in your information, and it gives you that number, smack, bam, done. But it's always, like I said before, it's always nice to know what your TDEE is. So I'm logging into MyFitnessPal on my phone, and we're just going to go through the gist of it so that it's easily accessible for you and you know what you're doing, kind of have a gist of what's going on once you do download it. So this is after putting in all your information, you found out how many calories you should be eating a day. There is the home screen, and on the home screen you'll be able to see your goal of calories you should be eating a day, minus the food you already ate, plus exercise. It adds on any exercise that you put in, because when you exercise, you burn calories. So in burning those calories, the app takes in consideration that, oh, since you burn these calories, you can eat more. That part depends on you. Sometimes I like to add a little snack or something because I know I did my exercise, I know I worked for it, so I'm not afraid to reward my body for exercising. And plus, you burn the calories and you're already in a deficit. Why not? Don't be hard on yourself. That's what I mean by not being restrictive. So back to the top. Like I said, on the home screen you have your goal minus your food plus your exercise, and that equals how many calories is remaining that you can eat. So that right side where the green numbers are is your best friend, because you'll be able to see how many calories you have left to eat throughout the day. If you press on that green number that says remaining under, it'll take you to the diary of today. So in the diary, this is where you're going to be able to implement your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, snacks. If you want to put your exercise in there, it has a lot of exercise options. It adds that on. You can also connect your phone, and then on the bottom, water. When you're done with the day and you completed your eating for the day, you press complete diary, and it'll give you a summary of, if you keep this up, you'll be able to lose this amount of pounds in this amount of time. That's always nice. You don't have to complete the diary. It's just, whatever you feel comfortable with, make your own routine. So going back to the implementing of the meals, under every breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, you'll see in blue letters add food. So if you press add food, it'll take you to a search for food engine. You can scan the meal, it gives you that option. You can scan any barcode if it has one, and it'll implement the nutrition facts itself, and it'll put everything on there if it has it. Or you can go on the search engine, type in whatever it is you're eating, and more likely it'll be on there. Now, when it comes to counting your calories also, measuring cups and a weight, food weight, I'm not sure what they're called, but a weight is going to be your best friend as well. On the app, it counts the food. Usually it counts the food as gram, ounces, or measures of cups. So say, for example, I go onto the breakfast option, I want to add a food. I'm going to add, say, I want to find blueberries. So I go to the search engine, I type in blueberries, I press search. The first thing that comes up is 1 cup of blueberries, and it gives you the calorie amount on the right side. Say I click it, I grab my measuring cup, 1 cup, I scoop my blueberries, and that's the amount that I'm going to be eating. That's the calories that I'm going to be eating. It's fairly simple. So I press that check mark on the top right corner, check mark, and it's in my diary. So that's exactly what you have to do. Just keep adding food throughout the day. Next to, on the bottom menu, you'll also see a blue plus sign. By pressing that plus sign, you'll be able to add your weight whenever you weigh yourself, water consumption whenever you drink water. You can also update your status. It's your own personal diary. You can add a couple things like, today was difficult doing this, today I achieved this. No one's gonna see it. It's just for your self-record. I know weighing yourself can be very damaging, and it is damaging to me. I do not weigh myself most times because I know that my mental health would not be able to take it. So you do not have to do this part. If you feel comfortable with it, you go ahead. You'll be able to see your progress go up and down. Remember, weight loss is a journey. It's not a straight way down. You're gonna gain weight, you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna fluctuate up and down depending on so many factors. But what you should keep in mind is that fluctuation, but it's going down with your consistency and your dedication. So don't pay too mind to that. We all gain weight, we all lose weight, but what matters is you stay consistent and you keep doing what you're supposed to do, or keep doing what you feel is right. That was the video on how to count your calories. If you need me to go more in depth, I definitely will. If you need another way, if you believe that your diet needs to go a different direction, try to consult a dietitian. I can also direct you to one. But thank you so much for watching. Bye.